In conditional formatting, you set certain rules. If the rules are satisfied in a given cell, the appearance of the data in that given cell is presented to you in a predetermined appearance. To show you what I'm talking about, I'm going to be using this column here, this column for tardy. We want to look at the students who are in jeopardy because of tardy, those who are not. We just want to get a graphic representation of what we're talking about here. I need to select all of the cells that are in this column that I want to use for conditional formatting. Now I could just click on here and then hold down the left mouse key and start dragging down. But even though my database here has 100 students, even in a grade level at a school or a system, they would have many times more than that. So let me show you a quick keyboard shortcut that allows you to select values in an entire column. I'm going to start here in cell E2. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold down the Shift key, the Control key, and then I'm going to hold down the down arrow key. And you'll notice now that I am down here in the E cell in row 101. So I've highlighted the entire cell with that shortcut. Now I could do Control Home to go all the way back up to cell A1, but that would deselect my column. So I'm just going to come over here and grab my scroll bar and go way back up to the top. And now I do have my entire column underneath tardy highlighted. I'm going to come over here in the Home tab to the Styles group. And I'm going to go to Conditional Formatting. I'm going to click on that. And here I have a couple of options. The first one, which is probably the more commonly used, is this Highlight Cells Rules. Now you can see the options I have are greater than, less than, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to click on greater than. The software realizes my data range goes between 0 and 8. So it picks a threshold of 4. Now you can tell because that 4 is highlighted, I could change that. But this is going to work out well. And I'm going to determine that anybody who has more than 4 tardies is in jeopardy of some sort of a sanction. And right here, if somebody has more than 4 tardies, they're going to get that cell filled with a light red fill with dark red text. I click on this button and I have some other options. But this is going to work out well. And you will notice that down here, I do have a preview of what that's going to look like. I'm going to click on OK. I'm going to click off the column so you can see what it looks like. And lo and behold, a value of 1 is not highlighted. But any values here that are greater than 4 have a red fill and a red text. So this is a really graphic way of determining what values are values of interest. I'm going to come back to conditional formatting, and I'm going to clear the rules. That's going to be important because if you try to do different formatting on top of cells that are already formatted, you could get some confusing results. So I want to clear the rules from the entire sheet. And that's kind of back where I was before. I'm going to do my old trick again. I'm going to click on cell E2, Shift, Control, down arrow, grab my scroll bar, go up to the top. And I'm going to go back to conditional formatting in styles. And the thing that I want to go to now is I'm going to go down to top and bottom rules. This simply gives you the top 10 and bottom 10 in the items themselves or percent and some average results. That's not really commonly used, but you can use it. Personally, I love the next set, data bars. What the data bars do is, if I click over this, the software realizes that my value goes from 0 to 8. And what it does is it fills in the cell in a proportional amount. So a value of 0 would give a minimal cell fill. A value of 8 would get a maximum cell fill, and everything else is scaled in between. And you can pick the colors that you like. Most of the time, this is just done for, what is pleasing to your eye. And again, I would doubt that this would be really used much for printing on paper. Go to your school colors, and I'm going to use the light blue here. And you can see very clearly that you can see just at a glance which students are in trouble as far as the tardy goes. If I didn't like that, I could come over here to color scales. Color scales is handy because it doesn't do a scale, it just fills in the whole cell. And here, what we have is a scale that goes from green to red being the minimum, green the maximum. And it breaks it down into quarters so you can kind of see by color, which are the top values and which are the lower values. And they've got different values here, different colors here that you can use. And again, this would be more in tune with your theme maybe that you had. Another item you have here available to you is the icon set. The icon set divides your range into divisions. Here, if I pick these 3 icons here, what's going to happen is that my range is going to be divided into thirds. So if I mouse over this, you can see that the top third has the green arrow, the middle third has the horizontal pointing to the right arrow, and the bottom third has the arrow that's pointing down. I can also come over here next to that and do one that's in black and white. That's more printer appropriate. I can do the flags, the circles, stoplights. I do also have the option, if I wanted to come down here to a set that has 4 arrows. And that divides things into quarters and so on and so forth. And down here in the bottom, I can divide things into fifths. Those are really very, very easy ways to classify values in a graphic way so that you can see what those values represent. And I'm going to come back here. I just kind of, for some reason, I don't know. I just like this business here of the data bars. Conditional formatting can make analyzing a large number of records relatively easy.